Meta stock is down 19% in the after hours after reporting a terrible, and I do mean a horrible, earnings report. In today's video, we are going to go over everything that has gone on with Meta, and we are going to discuss that earnings report in detail. But first, let's all say a prayer for this guy.
What's your cost basis on Meta? 220?
Oh, Meta 250. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
250. Oh my Lord. You mean 250? Good God, that guy is highly skilled in the lost sacred Jedi art of bag holding. I'm here to tell you guys right now, that guy is a supreme bag holder, so much so that I think if you go and actually look up the definition of bag holder in a dictionary, you might actually see a picture of that guy, whatever heck his name is. I mean, holy cow, 250? Just cut your losses, bro. It's okay. It's okay. Nobody's going to judge you. It's not like you spent months and months pumping Facebook on your YouTube channel. Or have you? So anyway, yeah, guys, it's no secret that Facebook stock has gotten absolutely positively mudda she wrote in the after hours. It's actually sitting down about 19%. And what's so interesting about this whole Facebook saga is I do remember about 2 or 3 months ago when I actually held Facebook at around an average cost of like 160, 158, something like that. And after their earnings came out in Q2, I actually sold the stock because I didn't like what I saw. And boy, oh boy, did I get trashed in the comments. And I only have one thing to say to the people who trashed me in the comments for selling Meta stock. What you gotta say now, boy, while y'all over there getting mudda she wrote? Oh, oh, mudda she wrote. Mudda she wrote. Oh, oh. Mudda she wrote, your portfolio is down. Oh, oh, yeah. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry. But you guys really did go after me in the comments for selling Meta. So I have to get a little bit of revenge in a funny way, of course. Hopefully nobody takes any offense to that. Okay, let's actually go ahead and get into what in God's name happened to Meta. So there is a lot going on with Meta's business overall. And to be honest with you guys, I think that the sell-offs that we have seen for the last, I guess, the entire year at this point is very much so justified. And I think it can all be summed up to one very simple thing. The CEO is doing things that investors do not like. And so investors are losing conviction and selling out of the stock. Let's actually go over some of the things that is happening with Meta, aka Facebook, aka Zuckerberg's pet project, crazy ruining the okay, so Meta's ad business is beginning to slow, and this is due to an increased competition from TikTok and Apple. You know, Apple changed their policies, as well as overall uncertainty around the economy. Now, obviously, we have been dealing with this for several quarters now, and in this quarter, we are still seeing the effects of Apple's policy change and TikTok absolutely, positively eating Facebook's lunch money. And so even though Meta beat analyst expectations on revenue, the amount of money that it brought in last quarter was still less than the third quarter of the year prior, making this Meta's second consecutive quarter of year-over-year revenue declines. Now, the company did report some good news in this earnings report, I must admit. It grew its Facebook daily active user base by 3% last quarter, which is a positive sign for investors that may be concerned about TikTok's impact on the app's ability to stay competitive, especially with the kids and overall younger users, because for those who don't know, both Snapchat and TikTok especially are taking more of the market share of younger users. Younger people just ain't using Facebook, folks. They just ain't. They don't like it. It's for old folks. So Meta told investors that it plans to ramp up spending next year, despite the fact that the company faces a slowdown in the advertising market and a potential economic recession. On top of that, Meta's Reality Labs unit, which is central to the company's metaverse pivot that we all know that they recently announced earlier this year, saw its revenue fall 49% to $285 million, and the unit overall had an operating loss of $3.7 billion with a big old B. You guys know what it is. And so here's what we know. It's obvious that investors don't like this at all. As a matter of fact, investor confidence plunged back in February of this year when the company revealed that it had lost daily users for the first time ever in the company's history. Then in July of this exact same year, the company reported its first ever quarterly decline in in revenue as companies were spooked by the economic outlook and did go ahead and cut their advertising budgets, which, remember, folks, Facebook does rely heavily on advertising. That is how they make the bulk of their money. On top of that, just a few days ago, a prominent investor named Brad Gerstner, by the way, he's on an All In podcast, which is one of my favorite podcasts. But anyway, Brad Gerstner wrote a letter to Meta encouraging them to cut back on its massive investment in Reality Labs, which is its metaverse project, saying that the company has lost the confidence of investors, which that's an understatement considering how much the company has failed this year. Now, Brad Gerstner, whose fund owns hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Meta shares, published an open letter to both Mark Zuckerberg and Meta's board of directors on Monday, saying that some of the company's investors are concerned that Meta is spending way too much money and confusing people with its focus on the metaverse, a virtual mixed and augmented reality concept that few people understand, which I agree, few people do understand that, while it also grapples with a weakening advertising business. So how can we sum up everything that is going on with Meta? Well, overall, you've got the problems going on with TikTok absolutely dominating them on a competitive side of social media. You have the fact that Apple's changes have significantly impacted Facebook. And then you have the fact that investors absolutely can't stand how much money Facebook is burning on this speculative metaverse project. But then you have a CEO who literally just said that next year in 2023, they plan to increase the spend into the metaverse. So you have this clash going on between investors and the CEO, Mark Zuckerberg. Now, I understand how some people are feeling. Some people out there are saying, well, you know what? I'm not exactly betting on Facebook itself. I'm betting on Mark Zuckerberg because time and time again, he has proved the naysayers wrong, and he has done a great job of breaking new records for Facebook and continuing to grow the company and do well on behalf of shareholders. However, folks, I do think that this time is different. I think Mark Zuckerberg is making a huge mistake. And for me personally, as long as Facebook is continue to dedicate their efforts on spending all this money on the metaverse, Facebook is just a no for me. Now, at some point, if Facebook gets to a certain valuation, because Facebook is dropping rapidly, if Facebook gets to a certain valuation, it might be worth a speculative investment. But at this point in time, I just ain't interested given everything that's going on with the CEO and Reality Labs. So anyway, there you guys have it. That'll go ahead and conclude today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.